So I've got it recording. I'm not sure if I'm going to post this in public or not. It definitely will be in the shaker indicator course and um, the SpyBot course. So it'll definitely be in there. I'm not sure if I'm going to post it public or not. So if you missed, they may just miss out. But a lot of people struggle getting in the trade. That's the big issue. They don't know where to get in, and if they should get in, where should you put your stop? Should you stay in the trade or whichever? And the last week, the um, the market has just been really volatile. I mean, it's been extremely volatile, and it's been hard to follow that. So before I get in this, there is a chat box down there. If you all have any questions, it's not open mic. That's kinda just type in your question, and I'll do my best to answer it. I look at that every so often, so if I don't answer immediately, just ignore it. But again, a lot of people just struggle. I talk to people daily, a lot of people on the phone, through emails, through our Discord. And everybody struggles. It's been the hardest thing, especially with the volatility we've had here lately. The last week or so has been extremely volatile. All the margins have been raised. So, like a NinjaTrader, if you want to trade NQS, $2,000 a contract, and ES, and I think RTY, and all of them are 1,000 now. I think it's what they are. So, if you're trading a small account, you really got dinged because maybe you had $2,000 in an account, and you were used to trading, 4 ES or something. You couldn't do it, so it hurt you. The volatility's been tough. You can look at this is at the end of the day. Matter of fact, there is the last candle of the day, and it has been hard to get in the trades. Even with shaker indicator, I mean, it's not been perfect by no means. I've never say anything I've got is 100% perfect because it's not. You're going to have losing trades. You're not going to win them all. What you want to do is just try to figure out where is the winner. So what we're going to do is I'm going to scan this back, and I'm going to show you how this works as far as the different ones. And you can see, we have kind of a roller coaster, and we have a few little lines on here. And the indicator actually has 5 profit targets, but for the most part, 2 to 3 lines is all you need. And we have, I guess I deleted that one, so I'm going to take this off. I was going to show you something else. Let's see. That must be on ES. Let me look here. I think I put it on ES. We're going to look at NQ, ES, RTY, YM, GC, UB, CL, and E. And then we're going to look at the bot that we're building. I was hoping to have it done by today, but it doesn't look like it's going to be. Hopefully I can have it done and tested this weekend and release it by first of the week. So how do you know where to get in? You can look back and trade and say, yeah, I would have got in right here, and I would have wrote it up, and I would have made $3,000 on one contract. And you can do that all day long. But how do you do it from this point on? When you get to that candle, what do you do? So we're going to look at let's see here. Let me go back. Right here's the overnight session. A lot of people that I know trade before 9:30. I do. I make the majority of the time I'm done trading before the market even opens because I don't like the U.S. market. That's just me. See how these candles are not so violent? And then if I come back over here, see how they're just wicked? So where do you want to trade? Do you want to trade in the U.S. market because that's where everybody trades and they say it's the best? Or you want to come back over here where everybody's asleep and you can trade a lot better market. So this right here is 3 o'clock in the morning. That's when the London market opens. It's London, Germany, Paris, all open then. So you have good volume, and usually you will have a rotation around 3 o'clock in the morning. Eastern, and when I talk time, I talk Eastern time. I'm on the East Coast. So when you start around 3 o'clock, it actually makes it better. So even at 3 o'clock, how do you get in the trade? So here's where we're going to talk about the shaker indicator. I released this a week ago, and people have made thousands of dollars on this over the last week. It's a really good indicator. It is not a moving average. It is not something that is a lagging indicator. It's not at all like that. This works strictly on volatility. The more volatile it is, the possibly more money you can make because these lines will get further apart. Now, I don't know if you can tell or not. I've got them a little bit darker. I might change these a little lighter. Hopefully you can see them. But you have a gold coming down, and then you have a blue going up. I'm from West Virginia, so that's blue and gold. That's a lot of things I actually do are pertaining to those colors. And I bled green, Marshall University. I don't know if y'all know them or not. That's where I'm from, that little town. But you have the blue and gold here, and whenever the gold is coming down, that's your short, and when the blue's going up, that's your long. So how do you get in? How do you know for sure? Because you can see some false signals right here. You know, should it get in here or not? That's completely up to you. You're going to have a bad trade every now and then. You're not going to have all winners. Let's see, you see them just fine. Thanks, Dave. So you're not going to be 100% accurate on this, but when you keep your stops manageable, whatever your risk tolerance is, and then your runners are going to be good. So the best way to trade this indicator is 2 or more contracts, and you run one contract up to here and take profit at your green. That's why it's actually teal. So when you get to the teal, that's your first target, and then at that point, you pitch a break even or so down here, maybe even halfway up, somewhere through here, and then you let the runner go, and you would have got the extra money here. If it comes down, you look at the runner as free money. It's not something you have to have. So if the runner comes back and gets stops out down here at break even, that's fine because that is your lottery. So you might run 4 contracts. If you run 4 contracts, maybe you take 2 profit here, you pitch a break even, then you take another one there and you let another runner go. You can play it that way. What I have found with Shaker is that a very high percentage, and I don't know the exact number, but it's a very high percentage of in the 90s that it will hit this target every time you come out, across this. Now, I didn't say it would hit it every time. What I said is a very high percentage. So most people that I talk to, the average money that they want to make is about $1,000 a day. I say, should you stay out of a trade if the slope of the blue is down since the blue is, we're going to get into that. So what he's asking is when this turned blue right here, should you get in or not? And we're going to discuss that. So what I suggest is people, I don't know the exact number, there's probably 40 or 50 trades a day in a session or more that you could take. Well, it'd actually be more than that, that the shaker will get you in. You don't have to have every trade. Just like this one here, you don't have to, but you don't know that that's not going to keep on going. And what you have to do is have manageable stops. On this particular one, I'm going to show you, if you would have gotten in right here on top of this, this would have been the entry signal. It's one closed bar above that, turns this blue, and then it goes. Again, this is not a moving average, nothing at all like that. And if you went up and took profit right at the teal line, this is on NQ, you're looking at $825. So there's a good chunk right there. So if you're looking for $1,000 a day, you don't put your profit target there. You go ahead and put your profit target up and you chase it with your stop. So when you chase it with your stop, and if that keeps on running, then you just keep on bringing your stop up. When it gets above here, put your stop right on that teal line and let it have some breathing room and run. You might get a good runner. You may not. Like over here, when, let's just pretend, well, actually it did change colors here. So there would have been another entry. So the sharper it's going up, the more money you would make. So to this one, you'd make $12.55 because it is going up and you've got your lines going up, and these are based on volatility. This is not it's not a standard deviation, nothing at all like that. It's all based on volatility. And So you're going to make roughly 1,200 here. So let's just say that you take the profit every time at the green line or the teal line. If so, you make 825 here. Don't worry about missing this trade. Or you could just go ahead and let it run and chase it with a stop, but you might get stopped out down here. If it goes up and touches that, it may reverse back real quick. So what I suggest is you put your profit target at the teal line, and then if you have a runner, you let the runner get it, or and put your break even down there to let the runner go, and you can pick up the extra money. Question, Brad, if you have a large account, is it easy to start? See, if you have a large account, is it easy to start with 2 or more contracts? What about those who have very small accounts? Small accounts, you can do micros. So you can trade this on MNQ or MES or M2K or whichever. And really, what I suggest people have is at least 4 times their trade in their account. So if you've got, say you got $1,000 in your account, a small account, you got $1,000 and you're just trying to make a few $100s a day. Trade MNQ. Right now the margin's 200, so you could do say 2 to 3 contracts on MNQ. And if I switch this, well, actually that would be $82 right there, and then this will be 125. So there's $200 you can make just having one micro. So if you had 2 micros, there's what is that? 125 that'd be $400 if you had 2 micros. So you can trade this on the small account. You can trade it on a large account. I have people that will trade 10, 20 contracts right here, and that's fine. That's great money. If you traded 20 contracts, that's going to be what, $16,000 right there, and you're done. For a lot of you, you'd be done all month. So, what I suggest is when you have this indicator up, is that you go ahead and get in, and you take profit at the teal, and don't worry about the FOMO. You're going to get another trade over here. So, and yes, you're going to have some losses in there. When you have this chop in here, when you start chopping like this right here, a lot of times it'll just hit and go. Sometimes it won't. But let's just look at this one. If you got in right there, right on the signal, the most that you could have made is 335. Well, when that goes up and starts coming down, I would be having my stop right in here. So this one, your stop would be about $400 loss per contract. So you're going to have losses. But then you turn right around and maybe you close out right there and you take the short. You could make maybe a few $100s, but when you get into this kind of chop, wait on the next move. So if you get stopped out, don't immediately hop into short because you're afraid you're going to miss out on the short. Just wait. Especially when you have this line going across the bottom. You're coming over, more than likely it's probably going to bounce right off of this and then go up. So wait on the next move. Don't chase. So whenever this comes back, you get it crossed right here, made another one. But honestly, by the time this thing popped up, you would already be pulling back down before you could even get in. So more than likely this comes down, it comes right back up, and you get in this one. You might have lost right here. Let's see, if we look at this one, if you actually got in right at the top, which is highly unlikely, there's 485. What I suggest on NQ before this past week is a 15-point stop, which is going to be 60 ticks. That has stayed pretty true until this last week. ES, you could trade ES on a 3 to 4 point stop on it and usually have plenty of breathing room. This week, sometimes it was 6 or 8 points and that it was moving. ES moved a lot like NQ this past week because of the volatility. It didn't move normal. So I switched over to RTY, and RTY was running still smooth. It was still running the way it usually does, and you could stay in the trade longer. So when you're watching the market, don't get married to one instrument. Look around. Like down here, I've got NQ, ES, RTY, YM, GC, UV. UV, a couple of people. Rob got me on this one. I started trading it. My first trade, I made over $3 grand on it. This one right here with crude oil, I still haven't started trading it, but I'm going to show you. And then we've got our bot on ES. So the way this indicator would work, and this is at the London session. So let's go ahead and go back. Let's see. So we've got, said we had a loss right there. We had a loss here. We had a winner. So these three right here canceled each other out. Then you come over here and you made $1,200. There's a chance that maybe you stayed in the trade and kept on going. If you did, it's a big if. I like taking profit at the till. The very most that you could have made is $2,600 right there. Would you have done that? No, because you wouldn't have got the very top. I'm just telling you what would be the max that you could have made on this trade. More than likely, if you stayed in it, if this popped up and come back down, let's just say you stayed in that, it come up, popped back, you probably would have got out somewhere along through here. So there's, roughly $2,000 on that trade. And that's only one contract. That's not running a lot of them. Very nice UB trade for sure. Rob's middle name is UB. That's good, Fred. So, but Rob's one that got me on the UB, and I did a very good trade on it. It was I started off 4 contracts. It kept dropping. I added 4 more short. It kept dropping. I added 4 more, so I stayed at 12. And shorted. I think I ended up. I think it was like $3,500 or so on that. It was a good one. And I shared it with Rob. I wanted him to see it. He'd be proud. So on this one, we go back up. We're at $1,255. So when we see that our lines start going up, that's a good indication that maybe we don't take the shorts. We would miss this one here if we didn't. But maybe we don't take the shorts and we just take the longs. So when this goes up, you got to think the market always pulls back before it goes up. So just take your longs through here. So if you're playing this, you've got plenty of trades that are going to happen. I mean, right here you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 trades right here in a matter of, actually from right here, 6:07 in the morning to 8:07, 2 hours. There's 4 trades. So roughly every 30 minutes or so you'd have a trade. So, and that's just on this time chart that I'm using. You could use a different time chart and get different candles. You could make it a lower time chart, and you can actually pick up a lot of these trades. So it really depends on your risk tolerance. The higher the time frame you use, if you went to say a 5-minute chart or something like that, then a 5-minute chart, you're going to have a bigger risk. Sometimes you're going to have a lot more money in the long run. So you look at your risk reward and see what your account balance and what your tolerance can actually handle. So it's really up to the trader. Just because I trade one certain size don't mean that it would work for you. And a lot of people get worried about having I mean, this week a 25-point stop on NQ was kind of small sometimes. 25 points is a lot of money, $500. If you had played the 25-point stop here, you would have actually got stopped out on this one right here. So your entry would have been there. It honestly, let's see on this one, your entry probably would have been there. $500 would be about there. So you would have got stopped out on this one regardless. You would have lost money. This one here, you may not have, because it depends on what your stop loss would be. So right there's 500. That's below that wick. So you wouldn't have actually probably lost money here. It depends on how tight your stop was. So you definitely would have lost on that one, roughly 500. This one you wouldn't have. So you would have actually been in the trade, and this one would have been 725 from there. From here down on, because it actually entered lower, is 825. So give or take $800, $750, $800 that you'd made on this. And that's if you put your profit target there. If you never and let it run, potentially more money. My strategy is put it right there. And that's the reason that even on the default settings, when you get the indicator, if you all purchase it tonight, there's a bunch in here that have already purchased it. But if you don't have it and you do purchase it, by default, these are the colors of it. And if you use the default settings, it's actually pretty good settings the way it is. You can change whatever you want, the colors or whatever. But the number values, I would probably leave where they are. And you play around with it. Maybe you find a better setting. If you do, let me know. So you're going to have, down here, I think this one would have been a winner. So really, you're probably looking at making about $700, and that was losing 5. So you're about $200 above here if you took out the green, and then you're up 1255 here. This is only a typical $1,000 contract. This week is 2,000, but typically it's about $1,000. Most people trading it's got more than $1,000 in your account. There's some that don't, but for the most part, most people do. If you don't, go down to a micro, trade a MNQ. It works the same way. If you work on a time chart, it'll be the same. If you work on a tick chart, it will be different because there's less volume in MNQ than there is NQ. So your volume is going to be different, and that's the way ticks are working. So on this one, let's see here. If you come back again, if your lines are going up, if you come off of this big old drop right here, you can even see it. You come down the drop, you got a little bit of pullback, a little drop, but now we're going straight on up. We actually broke across this. If you have better charting skills, that's better. But when you break across this, that's even a better chance that it's going to keep on going up. So on this one, if we come down and we don't take the short, and let's just say we get it along there. So our stop right here, that's $395. So I know that we wouldn't get stopped out there because we're looking at $500, for our stop, say 25 point, the way it's been running. And with this chart that we're running, you're going to have a bigger stop. You can go to a smaller time frame, and you can have a smaller stop and get more trades, but you're going to have smaller winners too. So if we take this up, and let's just say that we're looking for this line. So as this goes up and it starts coming down, whenever it comes down, your stop is probably going to be off the bottom of this because you got your pullback, that's your lower high. If you drop below that, you probably won out. So there's $395. We didn't make it to our line, but maybe you're the kind of person that just keeps your stop down here, or maybe, let's say, break even, you would have got stopped out. But it depends on where you have your stop. Me, I like to chase candles because I'm a scalper. So my stop would have got me right there. So I would have been about $350, $400, give or take. And then we wait on the next move. So then we get in right here. That is not going to stop us out. We're going to hold out, and right there is our money. So there's another $12.95. So somewhere around $1,200, somewhere on through there is about what you're going to make on this trade. So then we come over here, and we can do this all day, but I'm just going to show you a couple. And you come in here, this one right here, me personally, my stop would have been right here because we're on this pullback and I let it run. So when this goes ahead and pulls back to here, that's going to be higher than there. It goes ahead, and right there's our green one. So there's $1,700. So this morning, if you traded this morning from 3:54 a.m. and you can see this is the winner here too. I'm not holding out the bad trades. But if you traded there, this is roughly $500 loss. Then you made roughly $725 or so. So let's just call it $200 to the good. Or better yet, call this a wash. Let's just say that you didn't make money on any of this here. You lost money and you made some money, but it was a wash. Leave the 200 out. Then you come up here, you're going to take this trade, you got $12.55 to the green line. Could have made more. Could have made more right here. But we're trading to the green line. Then we've got $400 there. We've got $1,300 here, and we've got $1,700 here. So there's what, 17, 2, 3, 34, 34, 45, and this one we called a wash. So it's $4,500 from, say you started trading at 3:30. They give you time to look at the chart and everything. So from 3:30, and your last trade was at 8:30. So you're 5 hours in the trade. You made, I forgot what I said, was it $4,000 or so? So this is where you would be. Brad, is there a checklist you have to follow on Shaker? I'm not really sure what you mean by checklist, but are you talking about like entering the trade, or is that what you mean? Because entering the trade is really blue and gold. That's what you're looking at. And okay, yeah, that's what you're talking about. So what I look for is, and yeah, I'm still watching the charts and stuff, and I'm watching for lower highs and higher highs and things like that. I really like to trade off of that because it gives me an overall trend of the direction. So like for instance, if we take this one and let's make this here. So we've got a lower low there. It's actually a higher low than here. And then we've got one here. And then we've got one here. And we've got one right here. And we've got one there. So this is how I trade. This is what I'm looking at. And think of it as a stair step. So right here, we pull back to there, we went up, we pull back again right there. That's really a pullback in itself. So, when we get that far up, I'm going to be putting my stop up closer because we're closer to this red or the green line, and we're getting way overextended compared to these smaller pullbacks. And then also we have, some that are bigger. So I'm going to put my stop up there. And I would get stopped out right here, coincidentally, is where it went short. Would I enter a short there? Since it broke the lower low, yes, that's what I would do. So on this one, since we went up and we actually broke that low, then yes, I would entertain a short there, and that would get me back to this green. That's 455. So typically on ES, you will usually have give or take $200 on ES for every trade based on the green line. On NQ, you will usually double. It's usually $400 to $500, somewhere through there is where you usually are on NQ. So if you think of it this way, is not that you're trying to get the whole, the whole run, which would be great. I mean, if you went in 100 contracts down here and sold up here, that would be great. But you know what? I don't know how to do that. If you all do, please teach me. There's $6,800. So if you went in 100 contracts, there's $680,000 right there. I don't know how to do that. I wish I did, because when the price starts going up and I start making money, I'm a scalper by nature. So I'm going to take the money that I can. I don't really care necessarily about trying to get up here to that top wick. If I knew how to do it, I'd do it. If I knew how to build an indicator, I'd build it, and I'd be a millionaire. I mean, people, I'd make millions off from it. So I probably wouldn't sell it if I knew bottom to top like that. I'd keep it a secret. But the way I trade is I'm looking for the pullbacks, and as long as it doesn't break that lower low, then I'm going to go ahead and stay in. This one right here, hit here, we hit there, we hit that one. And our pullbacks are getting smaller too, so it's actually pushing up. So when you have a smaller pullback, that is a good sign that yes, we're going up too fast and we're going to have a big pullback, which we did. So right here, if we start pulling back and we break through that lower low, is it a gamble trade? Possibly, but we did change collar, and we hadn't changed collar for a long time, and we had that overextension. Now, I haven't looked in the past to see what's there, the levels, and I do trade another indicator on this when I do. It's called Ranger, and Ranger puts out the previous day open OHLC, the current day, current session. It does pre-market levels and all that. So when you have all those levels, and it also puts the zones, and I'll add it to the chart and let you see it, and it's up to you to decide if that's what you want. I personally like it because it tells me where the price is going, because it has the zones and levels on there. But on this one, yes, we could have made a big move here, but our strategy is to play here, and maybe we have our target on down here and we chase it with the stops. Maybe you do that, but I'm going to play the strategy. The strategy is to play the green line. We're looking for fast scalps on this, and we're not looking to buy a house off of one day's trading. We're not trying to do that. We're just trying to meet our goal. And only you can decide what your daily goal would be. Some people will have asked me that they'd like to make $2,000 a day. Could they do it? And I said, well, absolutely. You can, it depends on your bank size. You could use a moving average as your line. If you go long, you close your trade once price closes below it. This one way to get more out of your trades. That's a very good idea. And here I'll add one to it. And we got SPY bot mover, and you have this one right here. Then you have the mover. See how the moving average runs along it, runs along the trade. If you go, give me a 50. Okay, that's what I was going to ask you. If you use a 50, a lot of people use that. 50's right here, you would have broke right here. So on this one, you would have made more money than right here. So let me make it a little bigger so y'all can see it. So it's a good idea, Rob. This one, you would have entered right here and exited there. So if you did that, your exit or entry there, and let's say your exit would be the one candle under, it's $1,210. So that one trade, you would have made more money by doing that. But me personally, when it comes down and breaks this low right here, I would be out up here before I would be down here. So I would be out there if I was going to trade it that way. So there's 1565. So it's really a lot of different ways you can use this and trade it. You have to pick your strategy. Most people that I talk to are wanting to make $1,000 or $2,000 a day. And if they do, if you just play to the green line, you can easily do that. Also try an 89 EMA. I've never used an 89. It must have been a feather. You pulled out your butt on that one. 89, yeah, that's pretty good. But there's a lot of profit that you could have gotten if you had just stayed with the plan. Me personally, if this goes over top of this line, which is part of the shaker indicator, when we start coming down below it, it's usually going to keep right on falling. So I think I would use, personally, I think I would use the lines, the profit lines on the shaker before I would use that moving average. But you could use it. It's not a right or wrong way. It's just my way that I don't think I would have done it. Use smaller EMA to make it tighter, like 17. 17 it's 17 stays almost with the candles. It's almost useless. It's going to make you chop a lot. As far as on this strategy, it'll work on a lot of strategies, but I think with this one, I would rather stick to the shaker with the lines. You're going to have less on the screen and work better for you. I would rather trade levels, which we're going to get into. I'd rather trade levels than I would a moving average. Levels don't lie. That's usually where price will go. I'm going to have an indicator I'm going to release next week. It's going to be called SPY Money Balance. And that one actually finds targets for you, and it's spot on. It'll work on the London market, and it'll also work on the U.S. market. That one will be out too. All the indicators are $4.99 except for the Ranger. The Ranger is $7.99. So as far as all the pricing and everything, that's what they are. If you're a SpyBot lease holder, then you get 20% off on the all the indicators. So on this one, I mean, there's a lot of opportunity here. And it's really a matter of what risk tolerance you have. I personally like these lower lows. I helped someone today, and he had one on his chart I like really well. And it had like just dashed line or dotted lines going across, and it was showing the higher highs and lower lows and stuff. And using that indicator with this particular one would be, in my opinion, probably one of the better ways to trade it, because you're going to just be following along. And as long as you use the green lines for targets or maybe a little over. Yeah, Fred, I'm going to show the Ranger. I'll be here in a minute. But as far as the, I think if you trade it this way, I don't think you can really go wrong. I'm not saying you'll never have a losing trade, because you will. That'd be a lie if I said that. You can also see that I'm taking profit here, but look at the opportunity. When I trade it and I'm getting in here, I never put my profit target there because I don't want to limit it. I want to go ahead and put my profit target down a lot lower and see there. So you mentioned one thing there, and I have an indicator that does that. but it repaints itself, and I really just don't like it. If you're going to use it, not to trade from, but just to see them. But it really, I mean, this right here could have kept on dropping. It won't actually stop on that. So I really don't like the indicator the way it is right now. That's why I don't sell it. I mean, if someone wanted to buy it, I guess I'd sell it, but it's not really something that I want to sell because it repaints itself. And if you have an indicator that repaints it, it's not something you can trust. It'll just kind of show you what you already see anyway. This one, you can change the time periods on it. But again, I thought I called this one the Spy Money Edge, but I need to work on it because of the repainting. So, but yes, that would work. Let me take that one back off. We got too much on the screen. So on this one, when it comes down, you're looking for the entry back down. But where we had this big old run up and we come down, there's a good chance that may be the long that we take and it keep on running up. So would I get in that trade? Yes. If anything, I might even get into it down in here. When I see this come up, pull back, I would probably be getting in here. Now that's not this strategy, but that's how I would trade. And I know, Rob, you trade that too because I saw a chart that you showed with your trades. But this one, when we crossed over top of this wick, you could enter right there. It's strong, and you could have played this up. You wouldn't have got to the line, but close. Let's just say you went up and you started pulling back to here and you stopped out. Maybe you stopped out, down here on the line. Maybe you had it there. That's still $600. But that's not the strategy, but that's what you could do if you know how to trade your pullbacks. Once you pull back and you start coming down, if you come back up and break that, it's going to keep on going. And that's a good way to pick up some opportunity here. The most that you could have made on that would have been $1,325, but we know that we wouldn't have got there. But once we broke through here and closed above it, our thinking is the green line. That's our thinking. But usually what I will do is I will have my profit targets further, because if it just starts taking off, I don't want to give up that money. When it starts going up, I'm going to have my stop in my hand, and I'm going to be real close. And when it pushes up and gets above there, I'm going to put my stop right there. If it comes back and stops me out and goes, that's fine. But I don't want to take the chance on it, keep on coming down. So once it pushes through this line, I'm ready to put my stop right there. Now, once we went up and we started pulling back, would I take a short? Definitely. Once we come down and break through, you're going to be in a short there. You didn't get this line down here. It come down, it pushed up through here. Maybe when it pushes up to the line, I wouldn't take profit there. I would have my stopper up in here, and then it pulls back again. When this starts coming back up, the minimum I would be is right across the top of this. Once you push across, there's a good chance it's going to keep on running. So this would be like free money. And you put your stop there. There's $200. It's not that much money, but if you had taken it down here, there's $8.95. So would you take $8.95 or a 200 over $8.95? Probably not. And look at it this way: if you were looking, let's say you want to make 500 a trade. So once you get down there to close to 500, you can put your stop right there, and then you could just let this play out if you wanted, and at least get your 500. Might want to mention using 2 chart time frames to confirm an entry. For example, your example just now probably would have changed color on a 300 tick chart. You can trade multiple time charts. I personally like to look at a 5-minute chart to kind of see overall direction, and that's what I do. So if you look at a 5-minute chart, you're going to be able to see like the overall market direction, and that will help you trade these lower time frames and tick charts and stuff a lot better. But yeah, I mean, I won't say what time chart I'm on right now, but the time chart I'm on, of course, if anybody's got the indicator, I'll tell you all the information. I don't hide anything from them. I don't tell the public though. But on this one, the time chart that I'm using is one that will show trend a little bit better, but it actually works pretty good. I have found that if you use a time chart on these, they're real choppy. When you go to the tick charts, they seem to work better. So I'll give you that hint. But again, if anybody that has purchased um, the shaker indicator, you can send me a message and I'll tell you what we used on here. Matter of fact, when I post the video in the SpyBot course, I'll be, and I'll post it in the, yeah, I'll post it in there and I'll put what time chart I was looking at. So on this one, you could have played this long. I mean, let's just say you got up there, you saw it coming down, maybe you played it off of that. That's what Rob did on UB the other day. He played it off of the green, coming back down. Risky trade, but it played off for him. So let's just say that you did. So if you come up here and let's say you got in right there, or maybe you just got in right off of the break of that lower low or higher low. So maybe you played off of there and then you come right on down. The most you could have made there was 1200. If you're up there, you can afford to have a stop up here and wait on this pullback to come up. And if you did, the most you could have made would be around $2,000. So I'm not saying that you would have taken that trade exactly like that, because you probably wouldn't have. I mean, no one would have ever got here. But let's just say it's $1,500 trade. I mean, right there's 1,500. So when it come down, it pulled back in here, come down. Maybe you had your stop right across the top of this candle here. So that's 1445. So roughly $1,400 or so. That's a good trade. And that's only one contract. It's only one. And we go into here. Would I have taken this trade here? The way this is going here, when you start ranging, that is the buyers pushing up. This will be a bear trap. The bulls will come in, they'll let it drop, and then they'll run it. And they'll try to trap people trying to get it to go. Should you take every single color change? No, you shouldn't. I think if you look at the overall candles, you're going to do better. Can you take every color change? You absolutely can. You're going to have some stop outs in there. It's not going to be 100% perfect. You just got to manage your stops. Make sure that when you get in, like right here, this would have been a great trade. I mean, it's easy to trade backward. If we trade her to right here, that's 640. So, every trade that we've taken has been averaged around $500 or so for the green line. Could you have taken them more? Yeah, you could have just went ahead and let this rip up through there. Maybe had your profit target up here, or based off of this one, you could have it right there. They thinking that this is like a inverted head and shoulders. There's your shoulder, here's your head, here's your shoulder, but it didn't go. This was a perfect long, but it actually pulled back again. So, trading is just that. It's trading. There's a lot of risk in it. You've got to try to play the best way that you can with it and see how it works. But you can see, I mean, I'm not going to hit every one of these trades, but they're good trades. This one right here, as soon as it shorted right there, it bounced back. You probably would have lost, but you would have made money here. And one thing about it is when you enter on these, the further down they go, the more you'll make. That one's 775. But if this is still going down, usually what I will do is just put my target down here, and again, I will chase my stops with the pullbacks. Every time you have a pullback, I will bring it down. And when you come down so far, this one right here at the very bottom, pushes back. Maybe you get it right there. It's $1,100. That's a good trade. I'm looking for high percentage wins. I'm not looking to risk trade. I want wins. I want pocket money. So if you hit these targets, there's plenty of targets to hit too. I mean, look at all these trades that we had in here. A bunch of them. And you don't have to trade all day. I mean, this is from, what was it, 3:30. This one right here is 9:55. Let's see, right here is 10 o'clock. So, you traded 7 hours. There's thousands of dollars in there on one contract. Once you do it, and get used to using this indicator, then, trade 2 contracts or 3. There's a lot of things you can do. If you get in here, maybe you just go ahead and do what Rob was saying, and he threw a moving average on it too, and you can play around with that, and maybe you can get it to where you can stay in the trade longer. That's just not my style. My style is scalping. I want to get in, steal their money, and then I'll wait on the next trade and steal some more. That's the way I'll trade. So NQ, it works really well. Now that you understand the indicator, I'll show you ES, how it works. You can see ES had a lot of movement. This is a lower time frame chart, But yeah, you've got some good moves in here. Um, we'll just start right there from the beginning of the charts. From here to here is 162.50. From here to here, 175. It's usually about 200. There to there is 175. This one you would have entered there, which is 59, 56. So this would not have stopped you out. So you would have actually taken this all the way to here instead. So that one's only $87, but it's still a win. You got almost 2 points out of it. Maybe you got more and let it run. So ES is, now again, this is a smaller time frame. I found that with the ES, when you run the larger time frame, it gets to be to where the stops are too large. This one right here is 225, but again, it depends on your risk tolerance. Ninja has an indicator swing will print pivots versus your yellow lines called swing. I don't remember that one. Let's see here. Right there. What sure does that. I did not even know it was in there. Thank you. Good job, Anna. That's why we team up together. So this would be, yeah, I'll put that on my chart. That's perfect. She said it's called swing. It's already in the NinjaTrader indicators. I had no idea. Dave, is that the one you used, Dave? The swing? This looked just like the one you had. Yeah, definitely customize it. But I mean, these colors are fine with me. So yeah, put the swing on there. That would be perfect. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I was getting ready to build that indicator, but if it's free on there, I ain't building it. Yeah, that would be good. Let's look at that on NQ. This one over here. I went through every one of those indicators and I had no idea that was there. I mean, I'm all over this thing. Yeah, you can see that it hit all of my targets, the ones I picked. Not one did it not hit. So that's great. I'll start using it. And you said it's customizable, so can you add more? See the strength. So you could take it and make it to where it doesn't. You can make more pullbacks or less. That's actually a good indicator. Change the colors. Great job. And this thing, the way it prints, is it prints to, when this one kicks in, it stops. So that's good. That's perfect. Nice. That will be on every chart that I trade with. Because I always have to just kind of look to find them. But this will be on every chart I trade with now. Great job. So let's go back to ES. Man, I love that. Now ES, I've got a different indicator that I'm building. And let's see here. Let's go to a 5-minute just so you can see it. Let me take these off so it gets them off there and we don't see it right now. So on this one, if we're above the yellow line, it is considered bullish day. So at 9:30 at the open, if we open above this, it's a bullish day, and we're looking at these levels to go through. So let me take some of these off. So we're looking for it to keep on going. So when I get that indicator out next week, when you're trading this, and now this is on a 5-minute chart. This one is, I'll tell you that. I usually trade tick charts, but this is a 5-minute. And let's just say that you would have got in right here. That is 47. There's 38. So you're looking 38.75. So call it 9 points that you're looking on a pullback. But when you're trading a 5-minute chart, I mean, 10 points is nothing on ES when you're trading 5-minute. If you would have got in this, and I mean, it would have taken profit on that one right there if you played the green line. There's 937.50. And then if you went ahead and let it pull back, you got in again right there, you can play it to right there again. There's another 987.50. So there's, call it $2,000 for number's sake. $2,000 in 2 trades. Your first trade was at 4:55 a.m. and at 6:40, so roughly 2 hours. Is that right? Say 5. Yeah, 2 hours, and you made $2,000 on $500 contracts. Well, 1,000 this week. So you can play it that way. Or, like I said, you could keep on going. But here's another way to play this, and I want to show you. When this goes up and pulls back, it may not take a color change. Now, the bot wouldn't enter another trade here unless you had a color change. But when this one pulled back and touched right here, and you had the double bottom there too, the double wick in there, and it starts coming up, why not hop in right there? Or hop in right off the bottom. When it's wicked up and then come back down and wick, maybe you hop in there. Worst case, you hop in on the next closed candle. Actually, it wouldn't be that one. It would be that one closed. So it would actually be right here because when this one opened, you would hop in, and if you stayed there, there's $1,000. If you stayed in it all the way to this red line, which would be the ultimate way to play this, even off of this one, if you just stayed in, because it's probably going to go to here. So there's $2,000 on one trade. So when this goes up, pulls back in, you hop in another one here. So you can play this indicator another way. You don't get all the way up there, but you're close. Maybe you have your stop right underneath that one. You pick up another 975. There's a lot of what ifs when you're trading, and it's just a matter of when you're in the trade, how are you going to react? How are your emotions going to kick in and do things? So emotions are going to play a lot in this, and can go for you or against you. Will this be recorded? Yes, it will be recorded. It is recorded, but it only goes out to our SpyBot least people. I'm not sure if I will make this public or not. I make the webinar public, but I'm not sure if I will make it public to the YouTube. If you use the bot and shut off the shorts, would you have caught that big long move? Yes, you would have. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you the bot here in a minute. My bot has some issues right now. We're working through it, so I won't release it. But I'm going to show you some trades it's doing. I don't have a couple of the one of the stops I want and one of the profit targets I want coded into it yet. But I will show you some of the trades it does. But just don't look at it as bad because it's not finished. Because there's some bad trades in there where it's not trading right. But I will show you how it kind of looks and stuff like that. This one right here, where we pull back, this is the same scenario. We pull back to here, we open there, maybe you go long there, or maybe you go long off the top here. But when we have this red line that's going to appear with this indicator, if you play this with your shaker, you've got levels. These are like it's a type of it's not really a pivot, but it is. But it's a mathematical formula based off of the past of what has actually happened in the past. This is going to be working for the London market and the U.S. market. I've got it set up for both. So whenever the London market opens, these lines will appear. When the U.S. market opens, these lines will appear. So your lines for the London market will stay, and then as soon as the London market opens, it will have new lines because they're going to be different than the ones on the London. Your pivots will change. So this one, let's just say that you got in. I mean, if you were playing the 5-minute, and let's just say you were a risky trader, and you were one to go longevity. That's just not my style. I wish I was because I can make more. But look right there. It hit my level right there. That's $6,725. Oops. $6,725 using this for an entry and just going up to here. At the very end of the day, look how it hit that. Right here, it hit it and just played around with it, come down, bounced off from it again. Same thing here. This indicator, SPY money balance, it'll be out next week. If you use the bot and, let's see, I already read that one. So if you use the bot and shut off the shorts, yes, it would just take longs only. So on the ES and the NQ, it does really well. This is the only one I've got the balance drawn out on. I have to do it manually. It takes a while. This one's on RTY. If we do RTY, I'm just going to show you a couple just to show you what it would be from the blue line up to the green is 185 based on this tick chart. This is a very small tick chart. I usually trade RTY very, very small. I usually don't go larger. So on this one, we could do a 5 minute and it would be basically the same thing. Here's 4 in the morning. If you played this one, if you played that off of there, we didn't make it there, but potential 490. Again, you would have got in right there. Right there is 575. And, you know, you can what if it all day. There's a lot of good trades on them. I mean, you look back at the overnight, let's see, actually, this would be yesterday morning, is what this was. So that was a good run. We've had a lot of good runs lately. This one through here, there's a lot of good ones in there. And you can see that, you know, if you have the 2 lines on, usually it's enough. Sometimes they'll break out. Maybe you run all 3 or 5, whatever you want to see. YM, does anybody trade YM? I do occasionally. $10 a point. It actually adds up. You can get a 100-point move out of YM real easy. Make $500 on the contract. And it's only $500 contract normally. This one, just to give you an idea of what you can make on it, smaller time frame. Right there's where you got in. There's 185. So about $200 on average. And you know, how many $200 does it take to make 1,000? What is that? 5? So 5 trades, you're at your $1,000 mark, and that's only one contract. What is it? Tasty Works always says, Tom. What's his name? Snonoff, or whatever how you say his name. Trade small and trade often, because he loved those commissions. This one's on GC in gold traders in here. I know we got one that's in our group now. Rob, you sent him actually. He trades gold. He was asking about it. So on this one, gold, if you got in right here and to the green line, it's $160. Low time frame. That was you. Okay, okay, Fred. I didn't know who you were. Yeah, you were talking about gold. I've been talking to you. I didn't know your name was Fred. But this is on a very, very small time frame. If we go into a 5 minute, just to give you an idea, if you're trading a little bit larger, so your entry would be there, your exit would be there, $640 just playing one line. Your entry would be here, your exit would be right there, it's 210. Of course, you wouldn't have taken that because it's you know, obviously going down. Let's just say you got in there and you held it out all the way to the crossover. That's what some of you are playing. That's 28.80 if you just play cross to cross. And that's really, in the bot, it's going to have that feature to where you can do that. So let's go ahead and go to Big UB. And I'll put this on Rob's favored time frame. And I'm going to start trading this more. I've never heard of it until he mentioned it. But I got my money out of it. I didn't trade it today. It's so slow compared. And I don't have time to sit there and watch stuff. I'm busy. This one here, if you got in there and got out on the green line, is 656.25. This is 31.25 a tick. When things are trending, it's easy. It's chop that gets you. Yes. Chop will get anything. I don't care what kind of indicator you're doing or levels or whatever. Chop's going to get you. The Ranger, chop will get it too. And it plays off of the open range breakout. But a lot of times the price will just go right along the open range low or the open range high, and it will just like flutter all the way up through there, and it'll just be like in and out, in and out, in and out, and then all of a sudden it'll rip, and you know it'll be a $6,000 trade. That small? Let's see here. I'm shocked. I didn't think you did that. I had one more zero. So on this one, if we just played, I'm trying to find one that would actually, this is choppy. I don't think I'd trade this time frame. Right there to right there is 93.75. I wouldn't even trade this. That's too small for me. I'd want something bigger. It's too choppy for me. So I think a good one is half of what you had. I think is a good one. I was looking at it, and I think that's what I traded when I traded it the other night. So this one, if you're coming up, I mean, you don't have to wait on it to go up, but if you did, if you played to there and it went all the way up to here, it's 531. I'm trying to get. I'd really like to have $200 or more per contract. I'd prefer to find a time frame that will allow me to get 400 or more. That's what I'm looking for. So when you're looking at their different time frames, you want to find something that's not so choppy, one that you can afford to draw down, but it's still running pretty smooth going like that. So this one right here is actually running pretty smooth. You do have a little bit of chop in there, but I mean, you can handle this draw down here and then let it go. I mean, this is the end of the day. This would be like at the open. So if we did the open, right there's where you get in, you'd handle that drawdown. And the most you could have made would have been right there at 27.18. Just out of curiosity, a lot of you won $1,000 a day. Right there's the $1,000 way down here. So it's really not that much of a move on UB. I like UB. And usually, depending on what time frame you use, UB's not that choppy. It's usually pretty smooth. If we go back into the morning, I haven't looked at it enough. What's the best time to run this? What's less chop and actually move? It's a bond. That's what it is. For the ones that don't know what UB is, I don't know this enough. I haven't studied it enough to know. I mean, looking at this right here, it's the candles are really slow. From here it's 11. I mean, this is 6 hours right here, and then all of a sudden it just took off on session open, and then it just took off, and then it pulled right back. Look at CL 9 a.m. So traded at 9 a.m. What's it like? I think Ann told me today, or not Ann. It was who was I was talking to? I think it was Rad I was talking to. Said that I think the open was like at 8:30, 8:40, something like that. It was a weird time. So this one's on crude oil, and it works pretty much the same way. This one right here is exceptional trade. I'm just pulling up today. I'm not picking anything special. Your entry be there. First target $280. Good time frame to trade. 9 a.m. Ghost Pit NCL. Yeah. So 9 a.m. would be, and I don't trade this one either. I just never have been a crude oil guy. I'd like to find more stuff. So that one right there, you're looking, this is roughly $300 a trade. So you had a trade there, you had one here. This one actually is a little bit more maybe. That's 300. So you got 300 there, 300 here. There's 6. There's 9. You'd have another trade here. That would actually be a bigger trade. Let's just say you played off the bottom as it's bouncing up to here, be 460. Let's just call it 3 for numbers. 3, 6, what is that? 1, 2, 3. There's 900, and then here's your 12. This is at 9:55, so in an hour you could have $1,200 just trading, what we talked about. But I think when you trade it, you're going to have some color changes. That's not the best. You are going to have some losing trades. You just look back at your past. Let's look at the swing on this one. I like that indicator. And as everybody says, free is always better. I have a free course on my website that's about NinjaTrader, tips and tricks. So on the front page, if you go to it, click on it, no credit card necessary, just click on it, put your information in, and you'll get it. It's all free. So that one right there, if you were trading this, I mean, you're seeing the higher lows. So when it bounced off of here, that would be a good indication to go ahead and get in a long right off the top of this and not wait for that right there. This is confirmation, but you could have actually got in a little bit quicker. And when it broke through this high, that would be good. We broke through up here. That's a really good indicator to have. You all should have that on your chart. Let's see here. Key is to not take shorts when market is bullish. Exactly. Or vice versa. You know, trade the trend. Just keep on taking those longs or shorts, whichever direction it's going, and you do a lot better. If you use this indicator in that fashion, be good. And if you have this swing indicator on there, that will help you know, which direction you're actually going. So if you see a yellow here, yellow there, it's bullish. I mean, the candles are obviously going up, but if you see the higher lows each time, it's a bullish trend. So just take your highs or your longs, and when it comes down, bounces off of that, maybe you can get in a little bit earlier and steal a little bit more money. You can see chop with swing off of, yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Definitely, that's a really good indicator. You all should put that on your chart. That's a very good indicator. And let's see. Now let's go to the bot. You all been asking, talking about it. Right now, it has all of the lines. It all shows up, so you can't take those off. And up here, you can take the longs on or longs off, and then you can take the shorts on and off. One thing that someone mentioned, Otto, are you in here, Otto? Yeah, you're in here, Otto. Um, he wanted one of our bots. Sometimes when you turn it on, it's moving so fast, it'll enter a trade before you really know it is. So this bot and every bot that I update from now on, when you open it, will be paused. So when you open it and you get it there and you make sure everything's fine, you have to click the unpause to turn it on. So that is a very good feature that Otto came up with that I thought was just brilliant, and I don't know why I never thought about that. But that is going to be on every bot that I update. It will be on this bot on the first release, the pause button. That was very, very good, I thought. That was one of the best ideas we've had. And we struggled with this, and I don't know why the rest of us never thought about that. So, but Tom, you never suggested it. Otto did. You can't come in on his coattails. You've been trading these bots for a year and a half, and Otto had to come in on it. He's been a big help. He does a lot of back testing too. So on this bot, what it will do is it will enter the short whenever it's supposed to. Like on this one, it's the enter short there. And you can pick which level you want for your profit target. So if you want to, say you're going to trade 5 contracts, you can take 1 contract here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 there, and 1 there. In this case, if you left your stop high, which I wouldn't have, but once you take profit here and then you take profit there, it's going to have a stop that will chase that. So let me give you an idea. So when it takes profit here, and when it comes down and hits this level, the stop will move to here. When this comes down and hits this level, the stop will move to there. And it will chase these levels all the way down. So it's giving it breathing room, but it's protecting your profit. Which is good. So in this case, you would have gotten stopped over here. Now these stops won't just go to here and stay. So let's just say that you were in, let's say you were in a long here, and we hit this one, and our stop would be right here, right underneath that candle. But as these candles go up, that stop would stay right with this line. And what it would do is come right up, and you would get stopped out right here, and it wouldn't stay down here. So it's going to stay right on this level. That's what it's going to do. Very good bot. I've been working on it for a little while, and it should be done. I was hoping today. I mean, we were so close. It's right now. This is the actual bot running. It's in historical, and it's showing the past trades. But this one right here, the way I've got it set up with just like bogus targets, just to show a trade. is right here. Normally, the first trade would be here for me. The second trade would be here. So to give you an idea of what a true bot would have done for me, the entry would have been there. My exit would have been here. It's 37.50. It didn't move much. And then my next one would have been right here. It's 125. And then my next one, it would have stopped out here the way I have it. But when we hit here, we would have stopped there. So there's 37.50. Now this is just off of the high here. So let's go ahead and go down and we'll look at this one. So right here would be the entry. And our exit would be there, 125. Our exit would be here of 200. And this one right here, let's see here, you would actually get stopped out there if you had that trail stop on. So there's 100. So there's $400. You didn't do anything but turn it on. I think this bot will probably be our best bot that we have. It because of the way it's working off of volatility, the way it's not a typical indicator. It is one that will actually follow the market in the volatility of it. So it actually works good. This one here, this one would actually be, found it here, entry right there. And the reason the entry was there is when this went down and closed below, it pulls back. So that's where the entry went up. So it's a market order when it enters. So this one right here, we would not have been stopped out. That's too far away. So we would have taken profit there. And when this comes down, since we never hit this line, our stop would still be up in here somewhere. And as this keeps on coming down, keeps on following, the most that you could have made, because it never hit that, would be 537. So there's where you would be. Now, if you are, I never tell anybody to run bots unattended. I tell you to run them attended all the time. You never want to just turn a bot on and go to the beach. You just can't do that. In the beginning of making bots, we thought we were going to be able to, but you just can't do it. Things happen. NinjaTrader is not the best about being dependable. That crashes all the time, and you don't want something running without you knowing it. So what I suggest is on this one, this will be a flaw in the bot with the trail levels. See how it never hit this second level right here? And then it just kind of kept on coming down. So you would have to manually bring your stop down, because your stop would stay, say you had a break even or something, you know, your stop would stay up. Of course, I guess the break even, it would actually, no, see, it never hit there. So once it hit over here, then your break even would go in. So your stop would stay up here on it. So you would just have to manually move your stop down. So it's not going to be 100%. No bot is. You can usually make more money if you control your stops and stuff a little bit more and just watching the market. So on this one, let's go back to Anna's little trick here. I'm glad I met you. All those emails today paid off. I still like you. So, let's see. MotoWave software is more stable than Ninja. Use both. I've never used MotoWave. I remember you asking about that in the lobby. I've never used it. Actually, no, it was someone else. Someone else was using MotoWave. I can't remember who it was. They came in, it was, what's his name? I can't remember his name. Rob, I knew that. I know, say you, Anna, Fred, and I'm gonna say her name wrong. Rada, is that how you say your name? Rada, Rade? I think it's Rada. I'm not sure how to say your name. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. I love your accent, by the way. So if you use this with it, that would be good, because as soon as it comes down, you could just automatically move your stop down. I may incorporate this swing indicator into the bot to where you can just have the pivots. I think I will do that. I can actually incorporate that into almost every bot I've got, because I love the lower highs and the lower lows. This is how I trade, but I have to draw it up manually. I just look for them and I just keep moving it down. but this would be great to trade from. This is down my alley. So I think if you had this on with your bot, that would actually help you. You can see it's making lower lows, so you would want to go ahead and get in the trade. And then whenever it comes down, this was a higher high here. Maybe your stop would have been up here. I don't know. Depends on how you played it. My thing is to get your money and get out. That's the way I like to trade. So you can use it and once the trend reversal happens, the pivot core can be changed. Let's see. Talking about the swing trader, you can use it, and once the trend reversal happens, the pivot core can be changed. I'm not sure what you mean, unless you're talking about the trend when it reverses. I'm not sure what you're saying there. But that's the way the bot's going to work. The trades, again, this is not exact trades with the bot. I just threw in some settings to let it go. I'll pull it back over here. See, there's a bad trade right there. Naturally, you would not let your stop be all the way down here. Your stop would have, gotten you, say, right there across the bottom of this one, and that'd been a good one. This one here, same thing. Your stop would not have got you there. So the bot has some work to do. That's why I don't have it released. I don't even have it released for beta. And I've got 4 or 5 people that help me beta test. Once I get the bot, I'll look at it, kind of see that things are working. I turn the bot over to them, let them run it for a couple of days. We do back testing and so forth. Once we do that, then I go ahead and release it to the SpotBot leases. And like these right here, you wouldn't do this. It's just the way the settings are in it. But it is coming. Be next week. We'll have this released. I think this is going to be killer bot. And go back to NQ. Look at that. I mean, it's just pretty. This time chart, if y'all want to know what it is, send me a message. I'll send it to you if you're in the, if you bought the shaker indicator, or if you have the, if you bought the shaker indicator, I'll give you the time chart. I give all that stuff out to anybody that purchases anything. If you're interested in that, I guess you all want to know how you do that. Let's see here. Go here and go to the website. What you can do is just go up here and type in shaker. And when you type in shaker at the top, it'll come down. Oh, the Ranger indicator. Don't let me forget that. The Ranger indicator, you can buy it together. You get it cheaper this way, or you can just come over here if you just want the shaker, and you buy the shaker, and it's $4.99. That's how much you pay for it. It's got some videos down here, plus the video we just made, and that'll help you. We also have, some people don't have the money. Several people mentioned in here. We have 2 different funded accounts. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. If you're interested, let me know. I'll be happy to tell you. If you're looking for long-term funded account, Apex is your best bet. If you're looking just to make the money to fund your account, UProfit is your best. There's information here. There's coupon codes you can save on if you do that. If you click on either one of these 2 right here, it will take you to the site. Put your coupon code in there. Save 40% through the end of this month with UProfit. Save 50% through the end of March with Apex. Both good companies. I personally think that you should get one to make the money so that you can put it in your live account. Because if you use a UProfit account or any funded account, you're going to pay higher taxes because you get paid on 1099 and you get ordinary income. If you're trading on your own personal account, your personal money, you're taxed at 15% the first 60%, and then ordinary income after that. I have a C Corp that I trade in. So all of my money comes into my C Corp. I pay 15% on the first 60. I pay 21% on the last 40. That's how I pay. So your taxes will be cheaper if you have a live account. If you can come up with $1,000, $2,000 or whatever, you're probably going to be better off because you can trade micros, build your account up. If you make $300 a day, that's $1,500 a week. That's $3,000, $6,000 a month. How much money do you really need? You don't need 10 accounts. You only need 1 account. And to contact me, you go up here to the contact page. I answer every one of these. I usually answer them almost immediately. I'm anal about this. I like customer service. I like to give the best I can. About the only time I don't answer these is when I'm sleeping. My wife gets on to me because we'll be at the beach, walking down the beach, and I'm emailing people or talking to someone. And she tells me I need to take a break, but I'm just a workaholic. So I usually answer these quick. If you need to talk to me, put your phone number in, and then put a message of when is the best time to talk to you, and then I'll give you a call back. Webinars, of course, you knew where that was to get here. I post them in here. I usually announce them on YouTube and Discord. If you want Discord, if you're not in there, go up here to this blue button, and you click on this button here saying you read and understand our disclaimer. No drama. I don't tolerate it. You start drama and stuff, I'll kick you out and bang you. I just don't want to hear it. Come in there. We're good traders. We're trying to make money. We're trying to help each other. It's more like a little family in there. It's free. Don't cost you a dime. I don't give out call outs, but however, I do tell you kind of things of what I think is going on so you can pick up things. We just chit chat a lot too, so you can start there. So that would get you in there. Submit anything here. I don't really fool with Facebook and stuff like that. You can sign on to them, but I really just don't. YouTube, I'm on there quite a bit, so you can click that and join that. So one of them is don't. Oh, okay. Huh. Didn't think so. Maybe it is. I thought I had it pulled off. Hmm. It don't matter. It's not a big deal. Um, what was I going to say? Oh, the Ranger. I'll put the Ranger on NQ, just to give you an idea. So we're going to go into the Ranger, and actually let's do this. Let's delete some stuff off here. Remove drawings, get all that stuff off, and we're going to add the Ranger to this one. So we're going to add this, and this one, this is a really good indicator. There's a lot of videos on YouTube about it. But you can pick what time zone you're in. And then you can also pick which open you want to do, like US Open, then you have London, Paris, Germany, Hong Kong, Australia, Tokyo, and India. So we've got all 5 of them there, so you don't have to try to figure out what time it is or whichever. So you just go ahead and pick the one you want. We're going to take, see, we're looking at the London market now, so we'll look at London. And then you can pick whatever open range time. I use a lot of different ones. 5 is my default. That's what we're going to use on this one. But on the we call it the Ranger bot, we use a lot of different settings we give out to everybody. Down through here, once you pick your London, it'll automatically pick, since I'm Eastern time, it'll pick 3 o'clock to 3:05. That is my open range, and it goes ahead and sets all these other times. If I change this to, say, US Open, you'll notice that this time will change to 9:30 to 9:35. So that's the way it works. So we've got the London, Paris is what we're going to use. You can add these fibs or whatever. I'm going to turn them off on this one because I really want to see like the zones and such. And then you can come down here, you can pick like your pre-market, current session, current day. You can set these or whatever you want. I've got some of them turned off. Here's your previous day. You can add the verbiage that you want that shows up on the side of the screen. You can do risk to reward ratio. I've got them turned off. So if you're looking for a 1:5 ratio, you put in your tick and what entry you want to be in stuff, and it will show up. What we're going to use this for is mainly just for like zones. And we've got our zones turned on here, and you can have floor trader pivots or Fibonacci pivots. Here's some manual price zones. So if you go in and you chart everything out and you want to have your own levels, you've got 8 levels that you can put in. And so let's go ahead and add this. It's getting late. Usually keep these to an hour, and we're over that. So on this one, if you were trading this, and let's say you got in right here, as soon as this closed right here, you would see all these zones pop up. So when we scroll down, you will see the zones. And you can tell we keep on hitting these zones all the way up through here. So let me make it a little bigger. and we went right up to the zone before we dropped down. So the Ranger does very good about finding your levels, and that's what this is all about. Over on the side, go all the way over. Of course, this is London market, so it's going to, where is it? There it is. That's what Tom was talking about. He wants me to change this. I might do it. You have like your high of your previous day, and then you have your previous or your pre-market high. So it's got all these letters over here, and you can change these to whatever you want it to be. So I think I will do that, Tom. It is aggravating. He wants those levels to always stay right here on the screen. So no matter where you move it, those levels stay right here, so you can tell what it is. It's a really good idea. So the Ranger indicator, working with the, let me take this one off. I see what you're talking about now. That don't matter. The Ranger indicator working with the shaker indicator, I think, is spot on. If you come into here, if you're trading and you see this open range, when this pops up, you know that you're probably at least going to here, but there's a good chance it may bounce off of that. Just like when we come up here, we went through, we hit that, we come right up. So see how it played right off of the bottom of this open range high? So right here is a good chance that we might want to keep our stop kind of tight, because this may reverse and just come right on down. So when you look at these levels, it'll actually help you to know how to trade a little bit better. So I personally think that if you're going to buy the shaker indicator, you need to have some sort of a way to define levels that you're trading to. And like right here, you've got a zone right here. So when you come off of that, you probably wouldn't want to take profit here. You might, but you can keep your stop tight. But once you break through there, you know that you're going to keep on going. And then you've got this red line. That's your pre-market high. So there's a good chance that you will probably go right on through here instead of taking profit there. So this one, your entry would have been here, and your normal profit would have been there, which is 13.15. But since you've got this up here, you might go ahead and just drop it down. I never put it right on the line. I always put it before, and there's 1,800, so there's an extra $500 you could have picked up just by knowing your levels. So, together they're $11.99 for both of them. But whenever you do it and you put this on your chart, and you can run the Ranger indicator on anything. Now let's just say that you don't want those yellow lines on there. Maybe you just want to play your zones only. You come down here, you just take those off, and now they're not going to be on there. So now if you're just wanting to play zone to zone and just have your regular levels, you can play it that way as well. But what you have to do is you have to pick what market you're trading, whether it be Hong Kong or India or Australia or London or US, because your zones would change according to the market. So you mean more targets? Yeah, you can make them as targets. We've got a bot called Ranger Bot, and it trades this way, and we trade it not necessarily on the open, but we trade it on news and other things. Tom is actually really good about that. He's really taken the Ranger Bot to another level that I never thought about doing, and that's what's good about sharing everything with everybody. I mean, in the SpyBot lease, we have a channel. There's about 5 or 6 of us in there, and we do nothing but hash out ideas and different things that work. And then once we find something that works, we share those ideas with everybody else. And right, so we trade on news. There's certain times that we trade, and the news is not like normal news. It's like breakout news. Something that usually makes the market move. Like FOMC, the third Wednesday every month. That's a good time to trade it. So, we will put it on there because it works on a breakout strategy. So we will have, say this right here was our open range. There was the high and there's a low. We would have a short in here, and we'd have a buy order in here. Whichever one hits, it cancels the other out. So If it sells off, it'll grab it and go. Tom made $10,000 on it about 2, 3 weeks ago on the 8:30 in the morning trading that one. Um, he made 10,000. Otto made 5,000. It was a very good day. And he did that. I think it was 5,000 on NQ and 5,000 on ES. He was running two bots on the same account, but two different instruments. How many bots can you run? A bunch. You can run as many as your account will hold. If you're on NQ, you can only trade one bot per account with NQ. So you couldn't run two bots with two different settings on NQ and on the same account. You gotta have two different accounts because they interfere with each other. But that's how the Ranger indicator will work with this. It works great. I have it on my chart all the time because I want to see my levels. You can turn the zones off if you want and just have the levels only. Yeah, everything on this chart you can turn on or off and use it ever how you like. So I have any more questions? I think I covered everything. Covered how to buy it, where to buy it. Covered the entries and stuff. We talked about the swing indicator. I tell you what, that's the best thing I got out of the whole night. I love that. I was in the process of getting ready to make one because I couldn't find one. The dang thing was right there. I would have that on my chart every day. That is awesome. You're welcome, Fred. So no questions or anything. You guys have a great weekend. If y'all need me, I'll be around. If you need to talk to me, like I said, just if you already have my email, just send me an email. If you don't, go to the contact page. It'll get to me. And be more than happy to help anybody. I spend a lot of time helping. Even one guy today, his NinjaTrader crashed. He couldn't get it working and stuff. He couldn't get NinjaTrader support. He's a good friend of mine, so I logged in his computer and just fixed everything and sent it. I don't do that to everybody, but NinjaTrader is very easy if you just follow it. And thank you, Michael. I'm going to go ahead and end this. You guys have a great night. Enjoy your weekend. Spend some time with the family and head to the beach. It's going to be warm this weekend. Talk to you guys later.